this coming from you. I know you're not crazy. I know you're not on any kind of drugs or anything like that at all. You don't even drink.
Yeah.
But to hear what you're saying and feel how real it was for you, it's, again, there's people out there who, if not experienced it, have some sort of something similar towards it. And again, keep speaking, keep talking about this. You know, I think that this is definitely an amazing start to introduce yourself to those who are going to be interested, you know, encouraging. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask away. Or if you have an experience that was triggered that sounds something similar to what you just heard, please reach out and talk, speak. So the way that not just you, but others know you're not crazy.
Yeah.
You know that this is very much so real, and you know yourself. You know,
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, go ahead.
I also want to say that when I moved here to this area, and this is the Las Vegas area.
Right.
When I say this area, when I came out here, there wasn't very many Church of God in Christ around the area where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And so I attended. To me, with all my experiences, it didn't matter to me what church I went to.
Right.
I didn't get a sense of religion on the other side at all. But I know religion does teach you, and it keeps you rooted and grounded. It teaches you for things that are coming, and it teaches you how to be strong when things are not so good.
Mm-hmm.
So I always stayed with a religion, whether it be any religion that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Not one specific. I have never just been one religion in specific.
Yeah.
I've always believed in God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. I can't do one without the other. It's always been so strong in my life. It just is all together.
Yeah, there is no separation.
Like, even when I was telling you about the difference between church and spiritual, it is two separate things, but all together it is one.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've only learned the things that were in the Bible, but God has shown me something else on a whole nother level.
Right, but there's much more out there
exactly,
than just that. You
that
have to look.
It's
you have
spiritual.
To search. Yes.
And I haven't learned all the spiritual stuff that I'm going. I don't even know the names of what the things that I'm going through,
right.
or why I'm even going through all this.
Mm-hmm.
But besides, I have anaphylactic, and
it keeps happening to you.
It keeps happening to me,
right.
And I don't know why it's making me do this. But so I'm learning both. I have to do both. It's not one without the other no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my life has changed. My life is totally different. I'm not the person I was before. Right. I'm so knowing way more than what I did before.
And then also too, I just want to point out how I appreciate your walk of life, in the sense to, you had always taught me that church just isn't just a building. You are the church.
Yeah.
Your temple is your body. That you don't need to go to church to connect with God. And that's something that I've always thought to be super beautiful for someone who was so rooted in religion. Mm-hmm. You know, but like you said, with all of your life experiences and these specific NDEs, you realize that it's not about religion. It's so much more deeper. There's another side to that doesn't get spoken on, that doesn't get spoken about, which is what the spirit side of it, the stuff that makes it the very thing that makes you, because it's not your flesh that makes you.
No.
It's the soul, it's the spirit, it's what's inside.
Right. And I know that everybody's not going to understand.
No.
I understand that. Like, I told my cardiologist, because I have my own cardiologist, excuse me, that, hey, I've died a couple of times, and, please, like, if you see something, let me know, because I don't want to die again. And so he's like, I don't want to talk about that. And then when I came home, I felt like, oh, well, he didn't even listen to me. He didn't even value what I said. Or if he sees something, maybe he'll just bypass it and not really have any thought about it. But then I got to thinking, like, from his point, like, well, he doesn't you know, he's not going to understand. He don't know. He don't understand.
But he's
so,
a man of science. He's
right,
a doctor. He
he's
doesn't
not.
know.
So I can't judge him on that. So I'm just going to give him a little more time, you know. I have to be understanding and see it from both views.
Yes.
I don't want to just see it from like me telling my stories, but me thinking before all this happened, what would I have thought,
Yeah.
you know,
like,
about if somebody told that to me?
like,
And it
oh,
does
yeah,
sound
right. You're crazy.
off the wall.
You don't know what you're talking about. I'm the doctor.
But I never
Right.
did anything to have me to be like that, though.
Right, right.
So I have to get the answers to why is this happening to me? What do I need to do? And so I would say after all this happened, living in Antioch, working at the hospital for so many years, and being obedient and listening to the Spirit, because I always have done that. Now, I've always done do the right things.
Right.
I'm definitely far from perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that. And even with me having this all these experiences with the other side and with God, that I'm still not a perfect person.
Right.
But I am not a bad person either.
Right.
Like, it totally changed my life.
Yeah.
And it makes me more think about things before I do things.
Yes.
And be careful for my actions.
Yes.
Before, I would just lash out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, I'm upset, be immediately. But that has all changed.
Yeah.
I'm different now, and I know that the other side, they watch us.
Yeah.
They watch us. Father has spiritual guides, angels. He has all kinds that watch over us.
Mm-hmm.
They're here. You have spirits that haven't even went to the other side yet.
Yeah.
They're all amongst us, but you can't see them. But they're here.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to share another incident.
Go ahead.
Like I was saying, moving here to Las Vegas, I couldn't find a church. First thing I wanted to do is find a church home because my youngest daughter needed to go to church. My other 3 girls, their father was an ordained minister, so they've been in church, they know the Bible. They are older now, but I have a younger one, and so I know that she needs to be taught and go to church. And so I couldn't find any church home around here. I seen a little building. It looked like Little House on the Prairie. I don't know if you know that. It's an older movie. And I went to that place. I told my husband, pull over. I think that might be a church. And I got out of the car and I tried to see what the church service time was. And there was nothing there. It just said Latter-day Saint.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't familiar with that, what that meant.
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that even mean? Is that a church? So I went back again when they were open, and I was trying to get all the information, but I didn't tend to that one. And so they had a closer one to my house. It was the same thing. It looked like the Little House on the Prairie. And I drove by it. I said, okay, but the doors were closed, so I couldn't go there. Mm-hmm. And then the missionary sisters came to my house. And I ran out there. They came to the door, but they left too quick. I ran out there, and I ran after them and said, oh, yes, come over to visit me.
Right.
Like, I'm looking for a church. Like, where are you guys located? And they told me, we're just right around the corner. And so I said, oh, great. We'll come back whenever you want to. I want to talk with you. And so I shared my story with them, and then I had a church for my daughter to go to, and it wasn't, I didn't look at any of them any different.
Right.
Any of the churches. Whatever church you go, whatever belief you believe, that is you.
Right, exactly.
That's it. Show love, show kindness. And so I did. I went to the Latter-day Saints. It's a Mormon church.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. And so the beautiful missionaries, I love them. They kept coming and talking with me and sharing with me and, you know, telling me, because I didn't know anything about their church or their religion.
Right.
I just said, church,
it's a church home.
you're a Christian. Okay, church, Christian, good people, let's go.
Right.
Okay, because I haven't been in a while and I need to find me somewhere to go to church. Yes, they're very different from a Church of God in Christ. They're almost like the opposite. but they believe in Jesus and God.
Mm-hmm.
They do believe in Jesus and God, and they're very good people.
Yeah.
I love them. I love them all.
Yeah.
And they treated me with kindness and love.
Yes.
And so one of the members of the church, she would come over and do family history. I don't know if you're familiar with family history,
Mm-hmm.
where you go and look for your ancestors
Yeah.
and try to piece everything, and that's what we did. And I let them know that I come from nothing. I don't really have a mom, a dad. I don't have family. So she came here and she was trying to help me. She said, well, yeah, you come from somewhere, right?
Right.
And so I showed her my birth certificate, showed my mom, but my dad wasn't my real dad.
Right.
So it kind of messes things up.
Right.
And then she said, well, have you lost anyone? I said, yeah, I lost my grandma. And she's like, what's her name? I said, Grandma. Granny.
Right.
I don't know her name.
Right.
You know? Because I don't really have a mom or a dad. Like,
Yeah.
I never had really a good relationship, and I never even met my father.
Right.
So I really had no one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had an Uncle Ricky. And I let her know, and she was trying to research it. And she's like, well, did he get cremated, or was he buried? Maybe he has a headstone, and, we could start there.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I have no idea.
I don't know
Like,
anything.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Right.
Where is my Uncle Ricky? So we looked in the area for where he passed, in the San Pablo Richmond area.
Right.
And we couldn't find him anywhere. I didn't know.
Nothing.
And then so we did that for a couple of hours. It was nice. She stayed here for a couple of hours.
Oh, wow.
And I guess my Uncle Ricky from the other side, he saw or heard us
Wow.
searching for him. And so he came to me.
Wow.
And this was like not too long ago. This was maybe like 6 months ago. He came to me and he said, he was so good. He just looked so good. He looked about 30 years old.
Right.
And his teeth were perfect. He had a big old smile. He looked like his hair was like the Beatles. He
Right.
looked so nice. I was so happy to see him. And he says, oh, my address is 1515 Olive Street. And I said, oh, okay. And I'm just listening to what he's saying.
Uh-huh.
And he says, I was cremated. I'm in your sister's closet.
Wow.
Okay, so he's telling me this. He's just talking and saying this. And I hear him. And I have this smile on my face. Here I'm half awake and half asleep.
Right.
It was like half awake, half asleep. Because I remember everything.
Right.
And so he tells me all this. And I hadn't talked to my sister. I have one sister. I hadn't talked to her in years.
Right.
And I said, whenever I talk to my sister, I'm going to ask her. But I have a cousin, Dala,
Mm-hmm.
which is his brother, was married to my cousin. She was my half cousin
Uh-huh.
from the
Marriage.
marriage,
Okay.
marriage. And so I text my cousin and I say, hey, did Uncle Ricky live at 1515 Olive Street? And she didn't text me back for like, oh my gosh, it was a long time. I have the text message still
Yeah.
to prove everything, but I don't know. It was a long time. I would say 2 to 3 weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
she didn't get back with me. And I'm just waiting around for her to text me back or to tell me something. And then I asked her, what else did I ask her? No, that's all that I asked her. And so she sends me the picture of the house. She said, yeah, his address was 1515 Olive Street. Here, I sent you the picture of the house.
Wow.
And that was just confirmation.
Right.
That
right.
was,
whoa.
okay. I was
Whoa.
like, I was just running and just laughing and telling my husband, my Uncle Ricky came to see me. Yeah.
Right, that
yeah.
was a confirmation that you were not dreaming. This
No.
is very much
Yes,
real.
yes.
Wow.
And then my sister called me too. And I hadn't talked to her in years, and I was like, I have to ask her, but it's going to be kind of rude to ask her this, and I haven't even talked to her. But so I said, can I ask you a question? And she said, yeah, but don't get offended. Do you have Uncle Ricky in your closet? And she's like, yeah.
Wow.
So that just confirmed. I had to, do that.
Right. Woo.
And so he did. He came and he
Wow.
visited me, and yeah.
Wow. Now, are there any other experiences that you might want to share? Just again, to who knows, somebody out there might have experienced it too.
Okay, so the last thing that I want to touch on, and this is it. This is going to be it. I'm going to close it out with that. Is that I hear people say about they think they were another person, not in a, like, I guess, a past life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you call that. Like, do you know?
I think it's like reincarnation or
yeah, reincarnation
like
or past life. I don't know what it's
something
called.
like that.
But and I hear the YouTube people say, and please, people, don't get offended because I don't have all the right words, and maybe I'm not saying them the right way, but don't get offended. I apologize in advance because I don't know what everything's called. Like, this is still new.
Right, you're big. This is stuff you've never even thought about researching.
I don't take classes or nothing, so I don't know.
Right.
But past life, what you call it again?
Reincarnation.
Yeah, reincarnation. That I didn't believe that.
Right. You didn't even
I don't
think
know
of
why.
anything like
I just
that.
thought no, I know who I am. It's only me. There's nobody else.
Right.
You know, I'm me. Like, and then there was incidents through, I'll say in the last maybe 2 years, that I saw certain things, but I didn't put two and two together that maybe that could have been me.
Right.
Okay, when I was really, really sick with the blood clot and pneumonia and the COVID-19 virus, couldn't hardly breathe, feel like I was going to die again. Thank you, Jesus, God, I didn't. I was like looking through somebody else's eyes that I was there the time that they died.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't me.
Right.
I mean, they were sitting on a bus. I remember holding onto the pole and looking all around, and I was an African American lady. I had longer hair. I had bigger boob. I was a little bit bigger. And I remember I was looking through her eyes, and I was holding on the pole, and the bus was going off the rail, gonna crash.
Wow.
Go off like a cliff or hit something or go off.
Right.
And just holding here, and I'm seeing like right through the eyes of her.
Right.
And I'm thinking, could that have been me? So maybe that's real.
Right. Wow.
But before, when I heard people say that,
like,
I would deny it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's not real.
Yeah.
Especially, like you said, the way that you were conditioned growing up with the church stuff that you knew. We don't talk about
We
those
didn't talk
things.
about that. I mean,
we don't even acknowledge you. We brush it
No.
under the rug.
it was just, you just do that, and that was that. But I don't fit just in that category. I haven't been a whole that plus that, and I didn't ask for that, but it is part of my life, and it clearly has been, and I had been trying to brush things under and try to avoid it with life and not see things, but now I see things in a clearer, much bigger picture than what I did before.
You're looking at the bigger picture. You're no longer inside a box.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Wow.
So, I mean, but it's been several, like, different instances.
Yeah.
Stuff happening and stuff like that, and it's hard. Now that I'm reaching out, and I want to be with people that's been like me, that has NDEs or has these abilities to know things from the other side. I mean, what kind of lunch am I going to have with someone when we can't really talk about those things? They're not even open to hear those things.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And there's people who they're not. You can't tell them nothing outside of the Bible, outside of church, outside of God. Nothing else exists.
It's strange. It's different to them. But it's different to them.
Yeah.
And it's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Don't get me wrong. It's nothing wrong with that. That's okay because that's all you know.
Right, exactly. That's what they know.
But what about people like me that know
a little bit
something
more?
different?
Like there's something more than just what you were being told and taught. There has to be, because you know you're not crazy.
No, I know.
Right. You know.
It's happening to me. And sometimes the stuff is happening to me and I'm wide awake.
Yeah.
I'm not even asleep. I'm just...
You're just awake and
up.
Boop, transmission message.
And somehow, like I don't have scary dreams. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah.
Like I don't have scary dreams. I don't think bad. I don't see bad. I don't know why, but I just don't have anything like that. Like the fear part is not there.
Right.
I don't know. You know, when people say, oh, I have scary dreams and this and that, I don't get that. I don't have that.
Right. And I can tell you, I'm someone who I am a dreamer to the full effect of what there is. And sometimes my dreams can be annoying. Sometimes they make me think about things. But it's like, again, I can't speak for anybody else. We can only speak for each other. But I know the difference. And yes, there's times where I have dreams that seem real, but I know they're not real. I know I'm just dreaming. Mm-hmm. Like, I know the difference between me dreaming and being asleep, and I'm wide awake and something is happening that I just cannot explain.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you well enough to know I don't think you're crazy at all. I know you're not a drug addict. I know you're not an alcoholic. Yeah. I know you're not a bad person who's into witchcraft and all of these other crazy. That's not you. Mm-hmm. You know, I have always known you to be church, God. This is what this is. But then again, it amazes me to see how you know that there is more than what was being said.
Definitely.
And that's the whole point of, you know, having this interview. Yeah. So again, if something sounds familiar, you have any questions that you might want to ask, go ahead, ask away, reach out.
I'm going to go ahead and put out my email too. And if anyone wants to send me a message, or if you know, like, what I'm going through, or if you see something for me that you can tell me and help me, I would really appreciate it. Because again, I have reached out to the church. You know, even if you're in church,
if you just have an answer, something, shared experience
that, you know, that can help, or just want to talk, I'm here too. Not just for my story. If you want to share your story, if you even have a story, I want to hear.
Yes.
You know,
mm-hmm.
I'm open to anything, because I don't know.
You just know that there's a lot more to what's really going on in our lifetimes than what's being told and taught to us already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm going to say for my closing statement for everyone, what I got out of it was, yes, a learning experience for sure. And know that God is real. It is a big God, not a small God, a big God. And He watches everything. He has angels, He has spiritual guides. They know everything.
Yeah.
Don't do nothing in secret, because He knows. He can see all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. And two, love everyone.
Yes.
Even your enemies.
Yes.
Even if you know they don't care about you, love them. Don't have nothing bad in your heart. Mm-hmm. You can't fix all the problems and situations. You can love people from a distance.
Yeah.
Family members, friends, co-workers, whatever it may be. Love. Beware, but be loved.
Mm-hmm.
They even say in the Bible, give your enemy a glass of water. If
mm-hmm.
they say that they're thirsty, they want water, open up your heart and give them a glass of water. So, love is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
We have to love.
Love unconditionally.
Love is a big key in faith.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is, love and faith. Those are the key. That's what we have to learn here on earth. People say, well, what's our calling? Do that. Learn how to love, grow love, because that's what's on the other side.
Yeah, His love, pure love.
I'm going to show you what I learned. Because I didn't feel the love that Anna, my spiritual guide, gave me and showed me. I never felt it here on earth. This is us. Mm-hmm. This is us, okay? We get a little crumb of love.
Wow.
All these things right here are hooked on that. Love comes, it goes, it's painful, it's moody, it's funny, it hurts, it changes. But the love there is pure. None of the funny things are on it.
Right.
It's just solid and powerful. But the love here on earth, it has all of these linked to it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm
A
saying?
small piece.
So we're here to learn, to grow the love much bigger and stronger so we can identify with the love on the other side. That's us.
Yeah. Wow.
We have to grow it here so we can identify with it here and know it here. Because everything that's here on this earth with the little crumb of love, we got to grow it, grow it, grow it. So that way when it goes, it frees from all this bad stuff.
Yeah.
It frees it from the bad stuff. Here we go. Only the good, only that little piece, that little crumb of love that's got to grow. This is your spirit. It's going to take it out of the bad part of you and pull away
Yeah.
the spirit, the little crumb of love that you had here that you have to grow. It's now gone and released and gone with the Father.
Yeah.
So while we are here, we have to learn to grow, even through the
All
little
of
funny
that.
stuff and
Yeah.
the painful stuff and stuff like that. Grow it so that way it's strong enough when you go there, you can identify with your love there.
Yeah.
And
It
that's
makes sense. It makes
that's
sense.
what I got out of it, and that's what to me is very, very important.
Yeah.
So when I came back and my husband says, "Oh, I love you," I look at him and say, "You really don't know what love. You love me, but you love me very little." Because I know what the real love is, and I don't think we're capable to have that love down here because
No.
we're human. We're in the flesh. There's so much stuff.
A lot of
It's
the
very
stuff.
hard. The
Look at
walk
the- yes.
is very hard.
Look at all the things that surround
And
us
we're
that
tested.
are influencing us. Yes, tested daily, constantly.
Constantly.
Yes. We're poisoned too in
And
many
now
ways.
now I look at it different. It's
Mhm.
not like that quick reaction like I was before. Now I'm more in tune and know, okay, don't go there. Like
Yeah.
you need to separate yourself, stay to yourself, do things differently than what you did before. Because now I know I'm being watched.
Yeah.
Before,
You know better now.
before they said it, but when I'm standing before God, I know for a fact. Like, I mean, I knew it, but you really know it.
Yeah.
When
You
you're
thought
standing,
you knew,
yeah.
but now you do.
But I'm 1,000 billion trillion % sure. Yeah.
Wow.
So there's no getting around that.
Wow.
So for anyone who wants to reach out, I'm gonna give you my email. It's Charlene, SHARLEENE, letter H, 1972 @gmail.com.
Yeah. So again, anything, whether if you want more questions, you want to share your own experiences, please reach out. We definitely appreciate it. Charlene will definitely appreciate it. And hopefully, we can all connect and we'll find the answers in which what we're looking for.
And this is the start of the YouTube channel as well. This is just to get you to know who I am and to want to meet other people that have NDEs. And I would like to start a podcast too and do live shows.
So be on the
Okay.
lookout for all of that stuff. Again, this is just an intro to the bigger picture of what it is that we're trying to do. Yay. Awesome.
See you next time.
Yes.
God bless.